We're going to begin with breaking news. Americans are in the streets tonight demanding justice after the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. From Houston, where up to 60,000 people marched late this afternoon to New York City Hall. It has been a day of peaceful protests. The concern is what will happen when night falls. Tonight, major cities have put in place strict new curfews. In D.C., people have been told to be home by 7 p.m., while in parts of New York City, cars are banned and people have been ordered off the streets by 8 p.m. The crackdown comes after violent clashes between protesters and police overnight that left officers and demonstrators seriously injured and saw the military on the ground and hovering overhead in Washington. With emotions at a boiling point, tonight the state of Minnesota has filed a civil rights charges against the Minneapolis Police Department. And 6 officers have been arrested in Atlanta after tasing 2 students and dragging them from their car over the weekend. And while many Americans observed Blackout Tuesday today, pausing their work for a moment of reflection, President Trump turned to Twitter, offering himself congratulations for using, quote, overwhelming force in the nation's capital overnight. Well, there's a lot of news to cover tonight, and our correspondents are standing by across the country. CBS's Kris Van Cleave is going to lead off our coverage tonight from here in Washington. Kris?
Nora, you cannot miss the National Guard on D.C. streets. But here, just outside the White House, what you can't miss is this growing crowd of peaceful protesters. This is a larger crowd than we saw yesterday. And keep in mind, we are just minutes away from that D.C. curfew. Violators could face arrest.
A 7th day of protests nationwide brought no rest for those demanding change. Thousands filling the streets from New York to Los Angeles. In George Floyd's hometown of Houston, crowds gathered at City Hall.
I feel like this can definitely make a change because there are people of all races and colors out here.
In Washington, a huge peaceful demonstration back outside the White House as controversy swirls over Monday night's use of force.
That's a flashbang. All right, so we are just minutes away from D.C.'s 7 o'clock curfew. You heard the flashbang. That is an attempt to clear the crowd out.
Troubling video shot by WJLA-TV shows officers roughing up an Australian news crew, prompting calls for an investigation by the Prime Minister. And overnight, this bizarre scene. A military medevac helicopter hovering low over a crowd as if to literally blow them away. About 100 demonstrators avoided arrest for violating D.C.'s curfew by rushing into this home at the invitation of its owner.
I flung open the door and just started grabbing people and just saying, get in. They were decimating the crowd here that was doing nothing. They were looking for a fight.
In Minneapolis, where Floyd died in police custody, the night passed peacefully. Today, Minnesota's governor announced the filing of a civil rights lawsuit against the city police department.
If this is not an inflection point to change that, this will come back again if it's not addressed.
6 Atlanta police officers are now facing assault charges after tasing a college student and pulling another out of a car window during a traffic stop Saturday. And police became targets in several cities. A Las Vegas police officer is on life support after being shot in the head. A driver hit this NYPD officer and took off in the Bronx, and 4 St. Louis officers were shot amid unrest.
Thank God they're alive. They're alive. But can we make some sense out of this? They're done shooting us.
But there are signs of healing the divide. Police marched with demonstrators in Indianapolis. And in Phoenix, knelt as a symbol of solidarity. Also mourning. Today, the mother of Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna, spoke through tears.
I want justice for him because he was good, no matter what anybody thinks.
One big change overnight. Now, between the demonstrators here in the White House, Lafayette Park, there is now an 8-foot fence that has been put up. The Secret Service has closed roads around the White House to vehicle traffic. And with this curfew looming, the crowd is still gathering. Nora?
Kris Van Cleave in Washington tonight. Thank you.